I do have to admit another thing. I've stolen chicken wings also one time.
How do you do that?
Welcome to the Always Hangry podcast, where we break down the way we eat, the good, the bad, and the completely ridiculous. I'm George Duran. On today's show, we're diving into the world of Costco food samples, surviving the minefield of dietary restrictions, and exposing the tricks behind overhyped restaurant reviews. And later on, we'll separate fact from fiction and bust some of the biggest myths about olive oil. Joining me today is Carla Walsh. She's a lifestyle writer who spent nearly 20 years eating, traveling, and telling us where to go and what's actually worth it.
Such a pleasure to be here, George.
You know, I know you've written for a lot of magazines, obviously, right? Travel and Leisure, Better Homes and Gardens, All Recipes, Eating Well Shape, Bon Appetit, so on and on. You must have read and written about a lot of weird stories out there, right?
I have, yes. I feel like I can dive deep into topics from like poop to like luxury hotels within the same day.
Oh, wait, but in terms of food, though, there's no poop, right?
Thankfully, that's a health story.
Okay. So you have to receive some assignments that are kind of like bizarre, out of the norm. And
Totally.
then when you do your research, you're just like, I cannot believe this is actually happening.
Yeah. And so many food trends and stuff like that. You're just like, wow, am I really researching this? Or how did we miss the plot so much about this specific ingredient that people are now afraid of?
Yeah. And what's the thing that gets the biggest clicks?
Ooh, there's just like an endless supply of topics that you can explore at Costco, from the food court to the samples to the aisles. And I think that like once it's an if you know community, like once you have a membership, you're like, oh, I see what everybody's been talking about.
I mean, it's a cult following. I am one of the cult followers myself.
Yes.
And the one thing that I've always loved from the very beginning are the samples at Costco. In fact, there are some beautiful facts about Costco's samplings. There's, according to Yahoo Finance, sampling can increase sales by 2,000%.
Wow.
So if you're literally giving out those samples, the problem with Costco sometimes, like they're giving out tortilla chips. I don't think I'm that excited about tortilla chips.
Right. Last time I was there, it was like a creatine drink that was like right by the checkout.
Yeah. I'm not tasting that. I'm good with that. Frozen pizza, by the way, is usually sees an increase of 600% when sampled.
Okay.
Also, free samples trigger what's called a reciprocity. It's when you feel obligated to buy something because you tasted it.
Yeah.
And that happens to me in the cheesemonger. Like they give me all these samples to taste, or in the ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I have to get like a double scoop now because I put them out.
Yeah. And you know what? As I've gotten older, I'm just like, I don't want it. I've had enough samples.
Yeah.
I've done that. Have you done that?
I've totally done that. I'm sorry.
Well, the weird thing is that I started going deep into a rabbit hole and trying to figure out what are the weirdest things that Costco has sampled.
Ooh,
so here's a list of the weirdest things that Costco has sampled. Lemon crème fish oil.
Ooh.
You're going to try that?
It wasn't like a supplement?
It was literally like syrup almost.
Okay,
of fish
yeah,
oil.
like a little shot.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying that at Costco.
Yeah. Pepto-Bismol.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need that when you're shopping at Costco, you should probably be closer to a bathroom.
They've actually, I feel like if you try the other samples, then you run
Maybe
over.
you need a little gut support.
Maybe it works together well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wet dog food.
No, nobody's dog is, I don't think they allow dogs, do they? Unless they're service dogs?
But I mean, what are you going to do with that wet dog food afterwards? Like, maybe it's for humans too? Like, you should taste it? Because some people taste their dog food to see if it's okay,
That's fair.
I guess.
I do have a friend that just feeds their pet rotisserie chicken and that's it.
Okay, but we're talking the other way around here.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. Toilet paper. There are instances all over online and photos that show toilet paper being sampled.
Okay, so like, do you just use it as like a tissue?
I mean, that's not what toilet paper is for.
No, it's not.
Yeah. They were giving out rolls in like Ziploc bags.
Oh, wow.
And so you take
it's like
home.
a take-home project.
Yeah. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean...
But straight to the Costco bathroom.
I think we'll take what we can get.
In Korea, they've been giving out wine for samples.
Yes, I would sample that.
Because, purchases will just jump 2,000%
yeah.
into the wine. Mexico, they do champagne.
100%.
Caviar here in the United States.
Yes.
They have sampled caviar on potato chips.
Great. I think that's a perfect pairing.
That's I would not leave. I mean, is there a limit how much you can sample?
Exactly. They would have to turn us away.
Laundry detergent.
Ooh, interesting.
There was an instance in Australia where they were giving out laundry detergent in little cups, by the way.
Oh, that seems like it's going to spill.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're taking it home or you're taking a shot, but
I hope not.
That's a weird one. And finally, the one that really caught my eye, water.
Okay.
Just water. That's it. They were literally sampling water, and I can't imagine being next to the water fountain and then having someone give it to me in a little plastic cup to taste. So I don't get that one.
I feel like I'd almost try it to just be like, there has to be something special about this water that we're sampling it. No?
It was literally bottled water. They were just pouring it in there. Is there anything that you don't eat? Do you have any dietary restrictions?
No, I eat pretty much everything. I'm not a huge fan of raw oysters. It's a texture thing for me. Like, I admire what they do for the oceans, but it's not my favorite. But
here's what I think about oysters. I tell people who have never tried it and want to try it for the first time, you want to taste the ocean.
Yeah.
It's like that mist when you walk to the beach and you smell that saltiness.
So refreshing.
That is what oysters should taste like. And it's so wonderful when you experience that outside of the ocean area when you slurp an oyster. And for me, it's mignonette sauce, which is like shallots and red wine. It's just that acidity gives it. And then when you open an oyster, do you know there's a way to check if it's fresh, right? Once it's open.
Fill me in.
You take your finger or a little stick and you just poke at it and it retracts.
Whoa, that's a good pro tip.
I talk about dietary restrictions because I'm finding out that a lot of my friends suddenly have dietary restrictions that I've never heard about. The biggest dietary restrictions out there are lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance, and which is like celiac disease, and then vegetarianism. That's kind of a dietary restriction. Even though with the celiac, about 1% of the population, the world population, has celiac disease. Did you know that?
I knew it was quite limited, and then a lot of people just have like a gluten sensitivity.
So what's going on with that?
Yeah, I think they just feel better when they avoid it. So I'm like, to each their own. Whatever makes you happy.
Except when they come to my home.
It makes it a little more challenging.
Look, I'm the first person to adjust the menu for someone's dietary restriction, but I had one time a friend of ours come in, and she was always gluten-free, strictly, and everything I made was gluten-free for her. I went out of the way for her. And no joke, one time we all went to a restaurant and she ordered mussels, and there was this beautiful basket of bread, and I have never seen anyone eat an entire basket of bread.
Well, it's probably because she didn't have it for so long. She's just like, finally.
I was seething. Seething. I'm like, I do everything to work around those dietary restrictions, and there she is eating an entire basket of bread. I'm not inviting her again.
That's fair. I mean, it also is reciprocal. Unless they're hosting you, I don't feel like you always need to be hosting them.
Yeah. Thanksgiving is an absolute nightmare for me as well.
Challenging. I have Do you have family that has a lot of?
No poultry. They're allergic to poultry. Okay. No fish or seafood. Wait,
you can have a poultry allergy?
Man, my brother-in-law has a poultry allergy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. No seafood. Again, that's another allergy from him. No peanuts. My son is allergic to peanuts. So I understand when someone's allergic.
Totally.
No pork and gluten-free.
Okay. Wow.
This is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I make literally 4 different kinds of stuffing for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Have you ever lied to someone about what you've cooked? And if they're like vegetarian, you're like, I'm going to throw a little chicken stock in here.
No, I haven't. That seems like just like asking for it. I wouldn't like it if people did it to me. So.
Well, it's not fair if they come to your home and they suddenly tell you, by the way, I can't.
I feel like it's one of those, you need to disclose it at the invitation phase of the process, and then people can plan around it. Or just bring your own dish. Like, I always think it's appropriate if people have food intolerances to ask the host, like, would it be okay if I contributed to the potluck? Would I'd be throwing a wrench in the system. Of course, if it's like a plated sit-down thing, then that wouldn't make as much sense, but.
So here's a good tip that I always do. In my phone book, on my phone, I write down people's allergies.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
That's what I do, because I forget. There's so much to keep track of.
That's so smart. You can do like their birthdays, like fun facts, and then food allergies.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
In mine. I don't even care about their birthdays.
I
care about their allergies. When they come over for dinner, that's all I care about.
That's so smart. Yes.
Yeah, or maybe Apple or even Android should come up with like a little checklist of like allergies, one
exactly, like on
there.
A menu where it's just GF.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Or like, IBS, things like that. Get that free Costco toilet paper ready. And you're traveling here from Des Moines, Iowa.
Yes.
So obviously New York City has a plethora of restaurants to choose from.
Yeah.
How do you find out which restaurant to eat?
It's so hard. I have, just for New York City, I have like a spreadsheet that's like, just when I see things that people recommend that I trust, or a friend dined here and raves about it. I just kind of add it to my little New York spreadsheet. But in general, when I'm looking at places in advance, like when I'm traveling for work, I do kind of trust like the larger sources. And then I'm not above looking at like a Google collective star rating. It to me feels like an Amazon rating for like a printer or something. It's like if there are 5,000 people who tend to like veer towards this path, then I can probably trust the general vibe, knowing that there will be some disgruntled folks in the mix. But if there's a local dining critic, I might poke around and see what they've written lately.
I'm going to tell you something about those online reviews, even articles.
Please do.
First, they create too much of a buzz in some restaurants, and you can't get in for 6 months.
And it's so hard if the restaurant doesn't know it's coming. Like, I totally empathize with that. Like, some people don't want to be reviewed, which is totally fair.
So my secret to going to restaurants, this is a really good one. I look at the photos on either Yelp or Google, but the ones that the restaurants didn't post.
Yeah.
That's it
it's
right
so
there.
Smart.
If you can take a beautiful shot of a food with your horrible photo skills and it looks good, that is the restaurant I'm going to. And I can instantly tell what it is. I don't look at the stars. I don't look at what they wrote. I don't care about the disgruntled people. I look at the bad pictures of the food. And if that looks good enough, I'm going to that restaurant.
That's so good.
And obviously, word of mouth is fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, you have both different experiences of food. But I read, I was going through Reddit, of course, and doing some research, and somebody wrote something that was very funny in terms of the reviews that some of these people have online. And he said, I never do TikTok or Instagram. I have found that the majority of the influencers on there clearly have crap food court pizza as their baseline.
Ooh, burn.
I agree with that. That is so true. Like, who are you to rate this place? And I don't know you. And you're right. You maybe like cafeteria food and you're like, it's amazing.
Well, and you get paid. So like
maybe you get paid, maybe you don't. But I mean, who are you?
Okay, this is fascinating. How do you feel about line culture? I feel like New York City has like a lot of places that like have people lining up for them, whether it's like a mochi donut or a frozen yogurt shop. There's like, they're famous on TikTok. And so people line. Are you ever, as New Yorkers say, online in that situation?
I will never wait for food. I will never wait for food in public, anywhere in a restaurant, because there are a lot of other options right around the corner that are just as good. Now, if there's a place that really, truly has great food and there's a line, I put a reminder 6 months later in my calendar that says, hey, go back to this place.
Really good.
Because after 6 months, it dies down.
Totally.
Yeah. These are tips on how to not choose a restaurant. Let me know if you agree with this. Never go into a restaurant that has food displayed in front of it.
Okay, like a slice shop?
No.
Does that count?
No, you see those like fake food plates in front?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a red flag.
If there's ducks in the window and they're just like rotisserieing them, great. But
no, I mean like
plastic food.
Or even like they make a whole dish and they actually put it in front.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do not go into those restaurants.
I could skip that.
Yeah, never go to a restaurant that has photos of the food on the menu unless it's Asian.
I agree with that. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, until that asterisk came, I was a little bit like,
Because I just don't know all the Asian food.
Right.
I need to
Sometimes
see
if it's not in English, it's just kind of helpful.
Right. Never go into a restaurant whose menu size is too big.
I generally agree with that. It's giving a little Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's just so much potential for food waste. Like, it's hard to make it through all of those ingredients if you're serving sushi and tacos and pizza and sandwiches and pasta, or like kebabs or something. It's just like, what are you?
Right.
What is your brand?
Make up your mind. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
This is a big one. You walk into an Asian restaurant and there are no Asians in there.
Ooh. I don't know if I would immediately walk out, but it is always a good sign when it is their culture supports it.
Yeah. And that goes for other cultures too.
Totally.
It's just easier, to figure out that you're in an Asian restaurant and there's like Korean restaurant, there's Koreans everywhere, and I'm like, this is the place to come. And if I don't see any, I have kind of like, there's something wrong here possibly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then what to order. Okay, so you walk into a restaurant and you've never been there before. You have no idea what to order. The menu is written. There's no photos. There's no way to know.
Yeah.
Any way you kind of go in there? Do you ask the waiter, like, what's good?
I feel like asking them what's good is like setting them up to fail.
Yeah. The one thing that the waiter can reply to me when I ask what's good on the menu and they say, everything's good.
Yeah, exactly.
That means everything's bad.
Oh, no.
But there's another step that I go.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yes.
When I sit down, whoever it's with, I get up to quote unquote go to the bathroom to wash my hands.
And then do you?
I spy on everybody's dishes.
That's so smart.
You check it out, and I walk slowly, and it's kind of weird. People think I'm just stalking them. I'm just checking out their food. I'm like, what is that? And then when the waiter comes, like, what did they order?
Yeah, that's smart.
So that every time I go into the restaurant, and my kids make fun of me. They're like, why do you always have to go to the bathroom?
You're just washing your hands.
Leave me alone. I'm washing my hands. Hygiene. Yeah, I'm spying on everybody's food. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll find out if stealing food from your local supermarket is ever justified. And later on, I'll sit down with one of the world's foremost olive oil experts to separate fact from fiction. Welcome back. This is something that has been in the news a lot.
Yeah.
The New York Times wrote an article recently about micro-looting. It's one of the hottest trends amongst young crowds. It's the argument if a company is big enough and they're rich enough and annoying enough that swiping a few things here and there isn't stealing. It's kind of a statement.
Yeah. I have strong feelings about this because I actually got assigned a story about this too for Better Homes and Gardens. And I reached out to every grocery store contact that I have. None of them wanted to go on the record to tell me what was okay and what wasn't okay. And it's so interesting because, to me, it feels like a pretty even line of if you're offering samples for people to sample, that is okay. You should not be taking or trying something that is not offered.
Yeah. You know what? I'm taking the grape and I'm tasting it.
Yeah?
I'm taking this raspberry and I'm tasting it. I've gotten caught doing that, by the way, by shoppers. They're like, you can't do that. But I'm sorry, if I'm going to pay $6.99 for a little pint of raspberries, organic raspberries, I need to taste it. And trust me, if it's good, I'm buying it. I'm buying 2 of them. But if it's not good, I'm like, I'm not spending $7 on garbage raspberries.
Yeah.
I think we should all be able to taste anytime we want. But that's tasting. We're also talking about kind of just slipping in a few, because at the end of the day, what people claim is that it's completely harmless. A lot of these companies already take and factor, any of this
loss.
Food loss. So they have that budget on the side. And also you're going against the big corporate entities,
I feel like my response to that would be everything's going to get more expensive if we all start doing that.
Yeah.
And so that would be my fear is if we're already worried about groceries in this economy, that it will just start raising the bottom line a little bit.
I've stolen something at Whole Foods one time.
Ooh, do tell.
Yeah. I needed a Thai chili pepper. I just needed one Thai chili pepper. And when I went to the grocery, to the scale, it wouldn't register it.
Oh, shoot.
I just popped it in my bag.
I think sometimes the people who scan you will do the same thing.
I do have to admit another thing. I've stolen chicken wings also one time.
How do you do that?
So the packages in this supermarket, I won't say it, but it's a big corporate supermarket, they have the barcode printed in the back. Except the condensation kind of messes up that barcode.
Oh, no.
And if you need to scan it and the barcode doesn't work, you have to type in the numbers. I was in a hurry to get these wings going.
And you were scanning your own, I was
scanning my own.
Yep.
And by the third package of organic chicken wings, I didn't have the time. I had to. And I had to.
Darn it.
The other thing is that I don't want to get banned from the supermarket.
Right.
That is my biggest fear. They could throw me in jail overnight in the hole. I don't care. I mean, make me pay 10 times more. Just put me away.
Make you work a shift.
But please do not ban me from this market.
Yeah. How were the chicken wings? Was it worth it?
Bitter. They just tasted awful.
Oh, my God.
I just couldn't even swallow it.
Especially that third pack. It was that one.
Well, it was just intermingled with all the other wings. It was the guilt was just.
A bad wing ruins the bunch.
Yeah, a bad stolen wing. Here are the top 3 items that are stolen in supermarkets. Number 3, snacks.
Okay.
People get their little chocolate bars and stuff. And
okay. I was thinking maybe they open the box of fruit snacks because I've seen some of those. It's just somebody yanks one and you're just like, what are you doing?
That's a big Costco thing. You sometimes just see it open. And by the way, that just tells me that I can sample too, by the way.
Somebody started it.
That's what yes, exactly. They open the floodgates and it's like, you know what? They're not going to be able to
sell this anyways.
Let's get going. So I do get it in my hand in there too. I'm like, let's go. I've never opened a package. I have just put my hand in there and gotten that little thing of crackers to taste it.
Okay, snacks. What else is on the list?
Number 2 is cheese.
How do you like a fully shrink wrapped cheese?
I guess, cheese is very expensive, especially the high-end cheeses.
Yeah, totally.
It's one of the biggest things that's stolen, like a big block of Parmesan.
I'm just picturing someone wheeling out the Parmesan wheel that's like up to their waist.
Yeah. Or possibly, the softer cheeses and putting them down their pants and just like things go wrong from there.
Yeah, some of those can smell pretty bad.
The number one thing that is stolen always is meats.
Okay, I mean, meat is expensive right now, but that also would be difficult to steal.
They're stealing it to resell it.
Oh my God. There's like a second market for...
There's a black market.
Would you trust meat sold to you from not a butcher or not a grocery store?
Well, what cut of meat is it?
It's a tomahawk steak.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. It could be in the back of an old sedan. I'm of course. It could be room temperature, and I'm all over it. If it's a ribeye, if it's like prime ribeye, of course I'll steal. But if we're talking about like flank steak and such, I mean, I don't know where that flank steak's been. Thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
This was so much fun. I learned so much about you and the culinary world.
Yeah,
I'll never look at Costco samples or oysters or toilet paper the same.
And you promise if I call you, you'll bail me out if anything happens.
100%. I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Fantastic. Yeah. Carla Walsh, thanks so much for coming on the show. Next up, we're talking to someone who knows more about olive oil than most of us know about our own children. Think of her as the sommelier, but for olive oil. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've ever wondered whether olive oil belongs in a frying pan, a salad, or a trust fund, this next interview is for you. Our guest today is Alexandra Devarenne of the Extra Virgin Alliance, and she's here to help us separate olive oil fact from olive oil fiction. Welcome to the show, Alexandra.
Thank you very much.
If you were inside of a supermarket and you had 30 seconds to choose olive oil, where are you going to go? What are you going to choose? What are you looking for?
The first thing I think I would look for is a best before date that is not tomorrow.
Nobody does that. Nobody's looking at the expiration date or best before date on olive oil. Nobody. I don't even do that.
Yeah, and that's why if I go into a fancy deli or market and there's bottles, but they have a light film of dust on their shoulders, that's not a great sign because I want to make sure I'm getting an olive oil that is, moving. It's got to be being restocked and being sold, not something that's been sitting on a shelf forever.
So it's important to have a good turnover rate with these olive oils because the fresher the better?
Within certain parameters. I actually like to compare olive oil to shoes. So when you have, say, two pairs of shoes, one pair of shoes you got at, I'm not going to name names, but the cheapo shoe store, and the other pair is a pair of well-made with leather shoes. So the plastic shoes and the leather shoes, when they're brand new, both are pretty good. They look kind of similar. What really tells is as you wear those shoes, the cheap shoes, the plastic shoes, the poorly made shoes go to pieces. They start looking really shabby and old very quickly. Well-made shoes, those other shoes, they hold up better. They do better. And olive oils are somewhat the same, that you have a well-made olive oil, especially, and it must be well taken care of. And this is something that we can get into is best practices in storage and display and stuff. But they age better. So when people say, it has to be the most recent harvest, I look for an olive oil that is ideally from the most recent harvest, but sometimes you can find an oil that's 2 years old, it's been well taken care of, it will be in absolutely perfect condition.
How on earth do people know which olive oil to buy then?
That takes buying and tasting.
Yeah.
And I would also say, really, olive oil shouldn't be that hard. Yeah. And I think people get stressed out. I actually lurk in the olive oil section of supermarkets a lot. So
I think I've seen you there.
Yeah. You probably have. And I'm like, and occasionally I'll ask people, what do you look for?
Yeah.
And the answers are usually things that to me are pretty irrelevant, but this look of deer in the headlights in front of the olive oil set is so common. And the industry has to bear responsibility for that in many ways. I think that there's so much disinformation, misinformation, conflicting information that people get in front of the olive oil set and they freeze. They're paralyzed. Just buy it. Just choose and look out for something that is too cheap. If it's too cheap to be true, it is not true. So, don't look for stuff that is, if it's $5 for a liter in this country, no. So you want to get products that are, reasonable price. They don't have to be super expensive, but, just be wary of things that sound too good to be true.
How do I know if an olive oil company is blending other oils in their olive oil?
The chances of that in U.S. retail are virtually nil.
Huh.
There was the largest off-shelf study recently done in the U.S. The problem of adulteration is not a thing. It is really not a thing. Really what people need to look out for, and this is where that extra super ultra cheap off-brand that you've never heard of, that would be, where there was a couple of products that were found to have the addition of other oils. They were nothing you'd ever have heard of, and the pricing was off. So those are kind of the red flags. But if you're buying any one of the major brands in a supermarket in the U.S. retail, adulteration is not a thing.
And I'm seeing a lot of what I see. There are two lanes here. I see the cooking olive oil and then the drizzling olive oil. Is that still true that you should can I use the drizzling to cook with?
Sure, if you have the money.
Yeah.
See, to me, it's a question of economics. Yeah. If you can afford to buy fabulous olive oil to cook with, go for it. Why not? But I don't. I mean, to me, it is more important that people look for an olive oil that they like and that they can afford. An extra virgin, for me, extra virgin is all of it.
What does that mean, extra virgin?
Extra virgin is the highest grade of virgin olive oil. Virgin olive oil is olive oil that's mechanically extracted. It has all of the natural phytochemicals, the polyphenols, the sterols, all of the things that go into an olive and an olive oil. They're all there in extra virgin olive oil. So it is by far it's the tastiest, and it has the most health benefits and so on. The next grade, which is just called olive oil in this country, is a blend of refined olive oil and virgin olive oil, usually about 15%, give or take, of virgin. And that is a perfectly good choice for someone who's just starting out and is getting used to having something that flavorful, right? And they're looking for something that's a little more like a neutral cooking oil, which is they've been using canola oil or whatever else, or vegetable oil. That's fine. But what we have found is that people very quickly become kind of hooked on that olive oil flavor, and then they trade up to extra virgin, because that's where the fun is. Those are the really exciting products.
Yeah, I want to tell you a few myths, or perhaps they're not myths, about olive oil that I've heard of. Clear glasses, the light can affect the olive oil. Is that true?
That is not a myth. That is absolutely true. Olive oil is very, very sensitive to ultraviolet light.
Is it okay to buy olive oil in a plastic squeeze bottle?
If that's what you want, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the whole plastic thing is, if for long-term storage, we store olive oil in stainless steel tanks, right? And plastic is not an ideal long-term storage. But for the short term, those are almost all PET bottles, both the rigid ones and the squeezy ones. And PET is perfectly fine for a consumer package. It's just not going to be in that bottle too long. And as a chef, that chefs for years have been putting it in a squeeze bottle and using it because it's convenient.
Right, of course.
And that's important. Olive oil should be convenient. That's one of the reasons why we tell people don't put it in the refrigerator.
Of course.
You don't want to have to wait to use it. You want it to be available so you can use it all the time at every meal.
I buy my olive oil from Costco. Large, extra virgin, the best one. It is in plastic, but it is dark, and the turnaround is very quick. This is my regular frying, sauteing olive oil. Am I doing the right thing here?
You certainly are. Say you live alone, buying that large, product, the extra virgin that you like at Costco or someplace. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, but what I would recommend for a person there is to carefully decant it into absolutely clean glass bottles and close, seal them up and put those in the refrigerator because you're going to take it out one at a time. It never goes back in. But that way, if you've bought enough to last you for 4 months, it's better that it be in a container with no headspace because oxygen is an enemy, right? And that's one of the reasons why I love bag-and-box packaging. Bag-and-box packaging is the best because the bag collapses, and therefore you don't have that oxygen exposure. Light, air, heat, time. Those are the things that get you with olive oil. So you want to keep it away from light, you want to keep it away from air. And that's why they always say be sure to seal the bottle and so on.
That's crazy because when you say bag and box, I think of the cheap wines that you buy out there. But for olive oil, it totally makes sense.
It is, I know. And this has been an obstacle to the adoption of bag and box packaging because for everyone, it's the box wine, it's the cheap stuff, and so on. That's the association. There are brands that have rejected that thinking and have done absolutely gorgeous bag-and-box packaging. In fact, one of them, you can see it at the Extra Virgin Alliance booth, that there is a product there that comes in a bag-and-box, and nobody would look at that and say, oh, that's a cheap product. It's a beauty. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Are the Italians using bag-and-box?
Oddly, I would say less than, this is a brand from South Africa, actually, that has this one. I know brands in Portugal, Spain, some Italian brands also. It's sort of everywhere, but being adopted slowly because there's fear of the, of consumers having that perception you're talking about. And it's like, you might have been thinking of asking about first cold press. Mm-hmm. Because that's something that people put on labels, and yet it really means nothing. Because
wait. First cold press means nothing with olive oil?
Now absolutely means nothing. Because in order to be extra virgin grade, it has to be the first press, and it has to be done. In fact, it's not even really a press; it's a centrifuge, and it has to be done under low temperatures. So it's a throwback to the old days.
Quickly tell me how olive oil is made, because are you taking raw olives and then squeezing them? Tell me how it's made.
Yeah, what you do is first off, the olives have to be fresh. They cannot sit. You get them off the tree, and within 24 hours, they got to go into the mill. The first thing you do is they get cleaned, but you grind them.
With the seed?
Seed and all. You grind them up, and that can be done in a number of different ways, but you come out with something that is a paste, and it's kind of a coarse paste with chunks of pit, and it's got the seed, it's got pulp, everything in it. That then goes into something that's called a malaxer, and that is the beginning of the separation process, where it slowly, very slowly, sort of churns, and the oil begins to separate there, but more importantly, there's a lot of biochemical activity that takes place because the phenols in an olive a lot of them are in the water part of the olive, so those start to get transferred into the oil and so on. So there's a whole bunch of chemistry that goes on in this thing. And then it goes into a centrifuge. And in the old days, it went into mats, which got pressed, right, which is where the press business comes from. But you spin it, and that separates out to oil, water, and solids. And then it goes in through another spin to clean it, and you have virgin olive oil.
Crazy.
And if you had good olives, you have extra virgin olive oil.
Let's say you have a high quality, super expensive, high quality, fruity, a little pepperiness. What should I taste that olive oil with?
I think probably the best thing would be the hot potato test.
What?
Because heat is important, right? You want those aromas, those volatiles, heat will release them, right? So hot is good. So take that potato, open it up, and then put your fabulous olive oil in there. I like a little salt in there. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to be just enveloped by the aroma of this. Olive oil is going to come up, and then sounds great.
What is the Extra Virgin Alliance?
The Extra Virgin Alliance is the specialty section of the North American Olive Oil Association. And our focus is to build appreciation for extra virgin olive oil. And we do this through telling the stories of the products and the people behind them.
Is there a stamp, an EVA stamp?
Yes, there is. We
Okay.
have the Ava seal,
Yeah.
and it's EVA-SEAL, avaseal.org.
Yeah, and you can't just buy into it. I mean, you really have to go through.
Oh, there's a whole process. Yeah. And these oils also meet very stringent criteria of chemistry and sensory evaluation and packaging requirements, and so some best practices. So any product that has the Ava seal has met a series, a set of criteria.
All right, we're going to go quickly here. We're going to play a little game called Would You Drizzle It? Tell me if you drizzle olive oil on any of the following. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, vanilla ice cream.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Coffee.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Put it in coffee? Sure.
Okay. Watermelon.
Yes.
How about breakfast? Oatmeal.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hot chocolate.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
My
sure.
kids wouldn't.
Really?
I don't think if I put olive oil in their hot chocolate, they would just throw it in my face.
Really?
For sure.
You got to work on those kids.
Yeah, I do. Pancakes.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. You could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids, again, would probably slaughter me. Finally, peanut butter and jelly.
Huh. Now that one, I would maybe try it once. I don't know. It's a little hard for me to visualize, but yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Instead of mayonnaise on sandwiches, I use olive oil all the time. I don't think I've put mayo on a sandwich in years.
Yeah. Alexandra Devarenne of the Extra Virgin Alliance, thank you so much for being on the show. I'll probably find you lurking in my local supermarket soon.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate it. What is the website to go to find out more about the AVA, the Extra Virgin Alliance?
ava-seal.org.
Okay.
So EVA-seal.org. That's us.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for being on the show. And folks, thanks for tuning into Always Hangry. Don't forget to join us next week when I'll be sitting down with feel-good foodies Yumna Jawad for another fun conversation you won't want to miss. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Always Hangry wherever you get your podcasts, or visit alwayshangrypodcast.com for episodes, updates, and much more. I'm George Duran. Until next time, stay hungry.